All right, hello, welcome back. We are here once again to determine what's gonna go on in this weekend's Premier League. Just bear with me a second, and I will get what the results were from last week and see how many I've got correct. So, out of a possible 10, obviously, dead on, I managed to get one right. I managed to get one right out of the 10 last week. There was some I was just a goal off. To be fair, most of them I was actually just a goal off. Um, so just to review them, I put Man United 2, Fulham 1. The actual score was Man United 1, Fulham nil. For Ipswich and Liverpool, I put Ipswich nil at Liverpool 2. The actual result was Ipswich nil, Liverpool 2. So I got that one right. That was the only one I got right. For the one after that, I put Arsenal 3, Wolves nil. It was Arsenal 2, Wolves nil, so I was quite close. This one I was a mile off with. Everton 1, Brighton 2. It was Everton nil, Brighton 3. For Newcastle Southampton, again, I got the goal difference right. I put Newcastle 2, Southampton 1. It was Newcastle 1, Southampton nil. For the next one, I put Nottingham Forest nil, Bournemouth 1. It was Nottingham Forest 1, Bournemouth 1, so I was kind of close, but also I wasn't at the same time because it was a draw. For West Ham and Aston Villa, put West Ham 2, Aston Villa 2. It was West Ham 1, Aston Villa 2. So I'm not far off at all, honestly. It's just I'm not getting them right exactly. Um, I then put Brentford 1, Crystal Palace 2. This is a fucking bastard because it was Brentford 2, Crystal Palace 1. It went the other way. We then had Chelsea 1, Manchester City 2. Well, that's what I put, and it was Chelsea nil, Manchester City 2. I expected too much of Chelsea for them to get a goal. Excuse me, I do have hiccups. And then for the final game, I put Leicester nil, Spurs 2, and it was Leicester 1, Spurs 1. Spurs bottled on the opening day of the season. Now, as we get into the second one, let me just set everything up as I should do. We've got the previous results completed, and I just need to get the stream up on my phone so I know it's working, which it is. Fantastic. Phenomenal. So for this week, of course, we'll do the same thing again. I'll put the predictions in the description, and then I'll review them, obviously, at the start of next week's match week predictions. And I want to try and keep this up because it actually seems quite fun, but knowing me, I'll probably either forget or just not do it, not have time to do it. So let me just get the lineup of games for week 2, and we will get underway then. So obviously the one that we're going to be showcasing is Brighton versus Manchester United. It'll be Manchester United games that have gone on the background because of course I support Manchester United, which makes all the sense in the world to me. And I've tried to update the teams best I can. I've tried to update the injuries best I can. If they come on, I put all the injured players in the reserves. So if they come on as a sub, I don't know what the game's done there because I put them in the reserves. So without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we'll kick off with week 2 at the American Express Stadium. It's Brighton versus Manchester United. As we load in, I'm just looking at the games in front of me and thinking, really, more than anything. Well, here we go then. Both teams winning on the first week. Brighton 3-0, Man United 1-0. Who will come out on top in this clash? Of course, in the simulation last week, we actually lost 1-0 to Fulham. But in this universe, in real life, I should say, we won 1-0, despite losing 1-0 in simulation last week. So, Brighton and United. We'll kick off with them because that is the early kick-off. Our early challenge from Gilmore is not a good one. But realistically, it's going to be a close one. I don't know which way it's going to go, to be honest with you. We didn't look altogether convincing against Fulham. We were a better team, don't get me wrong. But convincingly, not great. And finishing-wise, also not great. We need to find a way to find the back end net with more consistency. And then I'll believe in us a bit more. I'm going to back us, but barely back us. I'm going to say Manchester United will win 1-0 again. I don't think it's going to be that much in it. I think we'll put in a superb defensive performance. I think De Ligt will start alongside Martinez. I think that's going to be a very good centre-back duo as they might go through and score in this simulation. Matoma passes it in and it's a great save Rutter on his debut, nearly putting the Seagulls ahead. But I'm going to say 1-0 Manchester United. I feel like we'll have just about enough to beat Brighton. And there's also a bit of bias in that result as well. I think if I was going unbiased, I'd probably say 1-1, but I want to back us. So I'm going to say 1-0. And if it's 1-1 tomorrow, then I will probably take half a point for that. I won't actually take half a point for that, by the way. I will probably just accept my losses. But I do think it'll be a close game. Both teams performing very well. But I'd like to think that we can beat Brighton. Christ almighty, we're playing at risk even on the simulation. Right, up next, Tottenham host Everton at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. A poor display on the first day of the season for Spurs as they drew, but an even poorer display from Everton as they lost 3-0 to the team that Manchester United are facing. I don't see anything other than a Spurs win here. And fair play, Xerxes. Go on then, mate. He used to be a little goal machine. He scored in the opening day and he scored in this simulation against Brighton. But yeah, I don't see anything other than a Spurs win, to be honest with you. I think it's going to be another cut and dry, simple result. I don't know. I can't really see anything else occurring because Everton started awfully, and Spurs, albeit started awfully, they have the components to get wins when they need to. And I think it's going to probably be closer than we expect because Spurs struggle a little bit. But I'm going to give it a 2-0. I'm going to give it a 2-0 Spurs. I don't see Everton scoring. And Spurs should be able to outclass them with ease. But again, it is Spurs. So it's kind of a difficult one to nail down. I'm going to say Spurs 2-0. But that could easily just fluctuate to anything. Third game then on the cards for tomorrow. It is Crystal Palace. The hosts against West Ham United. Two teams look on the up. Two teams that have had incredible transfer windows, but also two teams that lost on opening day. You'd expect a bit more, but I suppose they were against decent opposition. I thought Crystal Palace would beat Brentford, but West Ham did get beat by Champions League side Aston Villa. So it's kind of like it's difficult to kind of really judge it after day one. Of course, it's had little lead time to gel. And I think it's going to probably be it's going to be a stalemate, I think, tomorrow. Brentford actually showed that they can live without Tony. And West Ham's signings, although they probably will grow into the side, haven't done yet. So I'm going to give it... why did I say Tony? It's Palace they're facing. Why did I think it was Brentford they were facing? My brain just went into a fucking... some kind of tangent there. It's actually Palace versus Fulham. I don't know if Palace versus West Ham. Holy shit, my brain doesn't keep up with itself. Right, but yeah, Palace versus West Ham. I am going to say a 1-1 draw because both sides still need time for their signings to settle in. And with struggles on the opening day, I don't think that either can get a win against the other. So I'm going to say 1-1 for that one. Following that will be Southampton versus Nottingham Forest. The Saints hosting that one at St Mary's, with the Saints struggling on the opening day, but granted they did have a difficult match against Newcastle, although it was 10 men of Newcastle. Southampton surely should have got a result out of that in my opinion, but I didn't watch the match, and in the end it was Newcastle that came out on top. Nottingham Forest with a big point against Bournemouth to open the proceedings, and I think it's going to be another point apiece here. I'm going to go, and this is probably going to be boring as fuck, but I'm going to go for a 0-0 draw. I reckon it'll be the first 0-0 draw of the season. Southampton don't seem like they have anything up top too much that will maybe shock Forest, but also Forest I don't feel are going to be that strong against Southampton either. I think Southampton will hold strong, and I think both teams will get both teams will get a point here, and Southampton will get the first point of the season. That's where I'm seeing this one just now. I don't see either team cancelling out the other. And for the final game before half-time, then, I'm going to predict, because we do 5 each half, it's Fulham hosting Leicester City. Now, what I was thinking initially with this one is that it should be a Fulham win, but with Leicester actually surprising Spurs and put up a fight and getting a point, it might sound boring again, but I'm going to go for another draw. There's going to be a lot of draws this week because teams will just cancel each other out, in my opinion. And it is going to be a 1-1 draw, I believe. I think it is going to be close. But I think Leicester, if they don't get hit by this points deduction, I don't know where that's coming from or if that's even coming now, they might stay up. And with points, big points that they're getting, like the one against Spurs to open the season, if they can get a point against Fulham as well, it's a good start to the season. Technically, they're undefeated, but also they're taking points off of teams that could be above and around them. So I'm going to say 1-1 because it does feel like it's a stalemate game. It could. I was also considering putting this 0-0 because I feel like there's just not going to be a lot of goals in this one. But I don't know. I think Vardy might spring another goal out somewhere, or somebody from Leicester will bring a goal out somewhere. And with Fulham's attacking options now, I can see them potentially bringing a goal as well, especially with Emile Smith-Rowe. Didn't have the greatest debuts against us, but I feel like he will kick on and do well. So that is going to conclude, just for now, the games before half-time. Xerxes, as you saw, hit the post there. We're just going to take a look at the simulation. Then when we head into the second half, we've got Manchester City and Ipswich Town, Aston Villa and Arsenal, Bournemouth and Newcastle, Wolves and Chelsea, and Liverpool and Brentford, all to predict coming up. So taking a look then at the simulation. Fernandes, poor shot at the end of the day. I saw Xerxes hit the post a few minutes ago as well. But yet to be a second goal for Manchester United. Well, what did I say for this? 1-0, I think, didn't I? I said that I've predicted, but I didn't predict. It might be like I said, it might be one of those weekends where there's just not a lot of goals to go on. I'll predict not a lot of goals, and they'll end up being fucking ridiculous results. I know, I can already see it. This could either be, I feel like this could either be a 1-0 or a 3-2. A 2-1 doesn't seem right. I feel like there's going to be either more goals in a 2-1 or less goals in a 2-1. I feel like there's going to be like an avalanche of it, or not a lot. And I'm going to go with 1-0 for this game, but God forbid, I watch tomorrow and we just fucking fold. I'm honestly just hoping we can avoid injury. Rutter tries to finish it off, but it's covered well by De Ligt. And we should get it clear and away for half-time. But so far, yeah, 5 games down, 5 to go. Rashford might even bag one or play it into Xerxes, perhaps. Where are you going? Right, Kobe. Bruno, I think he was offside. That's a good save from Steele anyway, 10.5. But yeah, it's either going to be one of those games where there's a lot of goals or not a lot of goals. And I've gone for the not a lot of goals. And knowing me, it's just going to be a fucking goal fest. But yeah, that's where my mind is on this game. The rest of the games, as you know, we've predicted, and I'll go over the scorelines I've predicted at the end. If I've remembered what I've actually predicted, my memory is fucking woeful. I might actually have to write them down just to make sure I don't lose my mind. Give me a second before we head into before we head to the second half. I'm going to write these down because I'll fucking forget otherwise. I think that's probably better because my brain does not brain sometimes. Right. Right. Should have done this already, to be honest, because I did it last week. I was more organised last week, I can't lie. I don't know how I was more organised for the first week of the season than I am for today, but... no, oh... Google fucking messes up this tab thing sometimes. I'm going to have to close my stream on my phone just for now. No, I didn't click that. Oh, okay, right. Bear with me, guys. Technical difficulties. I'll show you the stats. There you go. You can see the stats at half-time. I'll read them out in a minute, but... Fucking Christ almighty, it's like trying to navigate... I don't know, it's just not good at navigating. What did I say for Spurs and Everton? 2-0, I think it was. Spurs 0, Everton 2. Palace 1, West Ham 1, I think, was my next prediction. Just going to write them down because I will forget. And I should have done this. I should have been like ready on this to begin with. I think... No. No! Why the fuck is it not responding to what I'm actually pressing? Right, no, I think... Give me a second, guys. Google is messing up. Sorry this is taking so long. Right, Southampton and Forest. What did I say for that? 1-1 as well. No, 0-0 I think I said for that. I think it's a 1-1 for Fulham and... whoever they're playing. Fulham game. I don't know. Oh, give me a second, guys. I should have had this ready. It's fine. We ball. And then, yeah, Leicester. So, 1-1. Right. Okay. Now we're back in fucking flow state. Let's take a look at the stats and then we'll head to the second half. 62-38 in terms of possession in favour of Manchester United, but 6 shots to 4 in favour of Brighton, as well as a slight XG advantage, 0.9 to 0.8. Let's head into the second half and let me get everything set back up again as I want it. and then we'll go into the second half. Boom. Boom. Sorted. Right. Christ. Okay. Next then, to kick off the second half of results. Also playing tomorrow anyway, but it is Manchester City hosting Ipswich Town. Now, I'm all for this Ipswich Town hype train, and I firmly believe that they will stay up still. We'll get enough results against lower teams. But it's the newest playoff. Is it play? No, well, not. They're actually not playoff ones. One of the promotion. One of the new clubs against the Premier League champions. I as much as I want to back Ipswich here, I don't see any other result than a Manchester City victory. They've got Gundogan back. Of course, they've signed Savio as well, who's still adjusting, but he's getting there. I don't see anything other than a Man City win, and I'm going to be lenient, and I'm going to say 3-0. But that could honestly be anything. With Haaland once again firing because he's Haaland, and just the pure quality that Man City have over Ipswich, I don't see anything other than a big win. And 3-0's me being kind. It could genuinely be 5-0, 6-0 kind of thing. First big win of the season, like goals wise. It could be a demolishing, but I'm being nice and going 3-0. I think Ipswich will show something that they showed against Liverpool. They showed fight, but I just don't see either. I don't see Ipswich score a goal. I don't see City losing, to be honest with you. So yeah, an easy win for Manchester City, I believe, as Minte comes in, and I can't believe this game. Onana is even bad in game. It's an equaliser for Brighton in the simulation, and while they celebrate that, we'll get on to the next game. Aston Villa host Arsenal, and that's a big one for the top four early. Match day 2, we've got a top 4 fucking rivalry match. It's a brilliant finish actually by Minte, but Onana should be covering his near post by through his legs. But yeah, Aston Villa versus Arsenal. Let's get back to the task at hand. Aston Villa impressed honestly on the opening day, 2-1 victory over West Ham. But with Arsenal, it's difficult to go against them. They've got a squad that's firing. They've got a defence that are incredible. It's difficult to kind of go against Arsenal, but Aston Villa are probably one of the only few teams you would go against Arsenal with. However, Arsenal are so good in defence, and as much as Aston Villa are quality in attack, I think Arsenal will just edge this one. I think Arsenal will just see this one out. I'm going to go 2-1. I think Arsenal will concede. Because, of course, Villa have Watkins. They've got plenty of attacking talent now as well. But Arsenal will find a way to win, because they always seem to do. And they'll be fully in the title race this year. And I'm going to say, yeah, 2-1 to the Gunners. As Garnacho shoots it straight at Steele. Next game on the list then. Bournemouth versus Newcastle. Bournemouth, they are a team that you don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, they've lost their main man in Dominic Solanke, but they've also replaced him with Evan Nielsen, with Unal. They've got plenty in that striker department. However, Newcastle just came off a win with 10 men. And Newcastle resilient in that match, and as much as I hate to say it, they'll be probably involved in the top 4 race as well. I kind of want to predict a draw. But to me, it just feels like a Newcastle win. I think Isak will finally open his account for this season. I think Bournemouth will score, but I think Newcastle will score more. So again, it's going to be another 2-1. It's going to be another 2-1, I reckon. As we now are losing to Brighton in the simulation. For the love of God, Manchester United. Are we just going to lose every simulation match? Because we lost to fucking Fulham last week. And now we've conceded against Brighton twice. We're 2-1 down in the simulation. João Pedro giving the Seagulls the lead at the Amex. Well, we'll continue anyway. We've got 2 more games to cover. Wolves take on Chelsea. And as you can see, it feels like we're going through the games a bit quicker because obviously there's not as much analysis with the transfers and all that. We know what transfers have been made. Chelsea have made every transfer under the fucking sun, to be fair. João Felix now in. And as much as I hate to admit it, Chelsea will find enough quality in that bunch of players to put on a performance against Wolves, to probably beat Wolves, if I'm being genuine. I don't think it's going to be convincing. I think it's going to be a struggle. And in fact, I was half considering predicting a draw, but Chelsea do have more quality, and whether that be 5 players on the pitch or 105 players on the pitch that they use, they're going to have more quality than Wolves. And with Wolves not doing a lot of business, Xerxes, please put this in the back of the net for the love of Christ. I'm going to say 3-2. Chelsea's defence are awful at the best of times, but they have enough in the attack, I think, that they're going to win this. So I'm going to say 3-2. Wolves might pull off a shock, and I would be bloody happy if they did, but it's hard not to back Chelsea against a team that haven't done much business this window, to be honest with you. And the final game of the lot then is Liverpool versus Brentford. Both the teams winning on the opening day. Brentford a bit of a surprise, to be honest, in my opinion. I thought Palace would beat them, but Brentford do have those attacking options. But of course, Liverpool also have those attacking options, with some players coming back from injury like Diogo Jota as well coming in. They've also got Nunez, Salah, Diaz. They've just got a lot of attacking options at their disposal. There is someone I'm forgetting, Gakpo. There's probably another couple I'm forgetting as well. They've just got so many that can play along that front line. I don't see anything here but a Liverpool win, and I'm going to say 2-1 because Liverpool can be shaky at the rest of the times in defence. Brentford do seem to have that attacking ability, but if Liverpool don't get 3 points, I'll be surprised. I think it's going to be another win for another team that's going to be involved in that top 4 battle, maybe even a potential title push. Arne Slot seems to be making, it seems to having. What I'm trying to say is, and my words in my mouth aren't functioning, combining together. Slot from the first game, I did watch a little bit of Liverpool highlights. It seems like he has a style of football that Liverpool can work with. But ultimately, I don't know when I don't know when or if he's gonna get found out this season. He's gonna do well, and with Brentford, it's a difficult one to tell because will they have Tony? Won't they have Tony? He's not the be all and end all as you saw against Palace, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It depends on if they can fill the amount of goals he can bring to the side. And so far, yes, Vissa, Mbeumo, Shade, or Shade, I don't know how to pronounce his name, Shad, they seem like a good attacking trio. But can they bring the amount of goals that Tony brings to the side? Altogether, I would say yes, but they need that out-and-out striker. And without Tony, I don't know if they have that. So I'm going to say Liverpool win, purely based on their attacking options. And obviously the new manager as well has got to play in a good style of football. So those are my predictions. We'll read out the results at the end of the simulation here as I watch my team lose another simulation again. We lost to Fulham last weekend on the simulation, and we're losing now to Brighton. But the only positive I can take out of this is in the simulation last week we lost, and then in real life we won. So I'm only it might be pure hope here, but I'm hoping that this is telling me a story that whenever we lose this simulation, we win IRL. Because we're winning a lot this season by the looks of it. Sancho playing it around to Dallo. Boys, we need an equaliser. I'm not being funny, but I'd like one. I'd like to win, to be honest, but an equaliser would be nice. We shall see. On comes Eriksen for Xerxes. I don't know what the tactical idea is behind that. Oh my god. What the fuck has just happened? That might be one of the weirdest goals I've seen on FC24, and I've had this game now for 11 months. What the fuck was that? I think that was a ball into Mount. Or is it a shot? No, it's a ball into Mount, who's dummied it past Steele. That is incredible play. Mount's onside as well, so there's nothing they can do about it. He's not interfering with, well, I mean, he is interfering with play, but he's onside, so it doesn't really matter. It snuck in. Ten Hag and, is that Malacia? Throws it in, shock. But it is 2-2. I don't know how much injury time we're going to get. I think we'll probably end here on it's a 5-minute injury time. We might get a winner. But it's most likely we'll end on a point apiece here in this simulation. Then again, you never know. We've done it before. Oh, just played a ball through to Ericsson, man. All you had to do was just play it through to the Great Dane, and now Pedro could close in. It's Jorginho Rutter. My screen's gone black. Hold on, there we go. Matoma, ball in. Moder at the back post. Oh, Martinez closed it down, and that will probably do the trick. It doesn't look like we're going to attacking us, and it's going to be 2-2 at the Amex. I wouldn't hate a point against Brighton, you know. I'd rather we get 1 point than none, but I really hope we can win, to be honest. But Brighton looked really good in their opener. And of course, they've signed Ritter in as well now. They're going to probably be signing Kadioglu. It's going to be difficult. Do you know what? For funsies, it doesn't really matter. But for funsies, we're going to go extra time. I know it's a Premier League match, but for funsies, we'll just go extra time. Just for a bit of banter. I don't know really why I've done this, to be honest. We must have a winner, kind of thing, I guess. I'll probably do this for every match when it goes through a draw, just to see who wins it. But it doesn't really matter anyway. We've done our predictions. Rutter with an awful foul there, no card for the Brighton man. I mean, the commentator just said every foul isn't a yellow, but I'd argue that was one. That'll be funny, but it looked like a yellow card to me. Bruno Fernandes over the free kick. Honestly, I did this just to see if Man United would win. And I will do penalties as well, because fuck it, why not? They're quite funny. De Ligt to Mount. Ball is through. Christian Eriksen. Oh my god, what the fuck? Absolutely no power on it. Obviously, once we get into FC 25, I'll be doing a Manchester United career mode to open up the new game. Eriksen may not be a part of that, honestly. There's a few players I'll be looking to sell, but I might try and keep the majority of the... I hate Andre Onana. I know it means fuck all, but right to take the lead in extra time. It's like, what the f... He saved it at his near post, spilled it straight back to João Pedro. I don't know what... I don't know. I don't know what we're doing on this simulation, but I should have just fucking ended it as a draw. João Pedro bags his second. It's the first Premier League game you'll see go to extra time, although last year when I did these, I've done this as well, to be honest. It's not like I've not done it before. Boys, I'm not being funny. You've got to bail out Onana big style here. Bruno's been given plenty of room to work with. Mazraoui into Eriksen. Can we get an immediate equaliser for Marcus Rashford? That's a really good goal. That's a really good goal. I went quiet because I thought he'd hit the crossbar and miss, but it's bounced in and it's actually quite an aesthetically pleasing goal. Almost immediate response from Manchester United in extra time in the Premier League. It's a very... I mean, he gets a fingertip to, I think there's a steal, but it's a very beautiful finish. It is now 3-3. God forbid it goes to penalties, because I just know we won't win on penalties. Then again, we might just score again. We might just score again. A flood of goals in extra time. 3 goals in about 6 in-game minutes. Pedro put Brighton ahead. And then a quick-fire double from Marcus Rashford means that we now lead proceedings. It's a fucking ridiculous game, this, isn't it? I don't know why I did this, but I'm glad I did this. Marcus Rashford puts us ahead. Will we see another response from Brighton? We might even get a fifth. Rashford might get a hat-trick. Are we living in 2022? Well, 15 minutes down, 15 minutes to go. Will Brighton have a response? Historically, no Premier League match has ever gone to extra time, and with good reason. It would make no sense, but for the fucking fun of it, we've done that. Caleb Bruno's 90th minute equaliser be in vain, can we? I didn't check the stats. We'll check the stats at the end. Will we see another goal and are twisting the tail? Or will Manchester United hold on? For a very undeserved 3 points. This just reminds me of when we had that penalty after full-time whistle and we just went and scored it after the full-time whistle. It's like we're cheating a little bit. But at the same time, it's a video game and I'm not taking it seriously. It's just for fun. So, João Pedro against... Oh, Casemiro. Lovely. De Ligt's covering back. Good block, Casemiro. And we should get it clear. But we're Man United, so I don't bet on anything anymore. Mason Mount running through the centre. It's out to Sancho. Back into Bruno. And Webster makes the tackle. Now it could be Rutter. Okay, it's an interesting bit of play. Both these teams have gone all out here. Matoma is cornered. And De Ligt closes him down with ease. Always had him red. And I think, I don't want to say it too early because it might backfire, but I think the 3 points will go Man United's way. De Ligt making a bit of a run here. Mason Mount running out of space. I think he was looking for a ball into Rashford, but just ran out of space to provide that ball. Will there be anything left for Brighton, or is that it? I think that's probably going to call it a day. But you just don't know with this video game, even if you're playing it or not. Brighton may still have one more bite of the cherry. Dolo beats Mulder to the ball, and that should do it. We might still get a goal here. Sancho down the left, plays it into Marcus Rashford, back to Sancho. Now, okay, never mind. Sancho's shit, forget Sancho's bad. Now, we're joking, kinda, but also, we do win in extra time. Talk about fucking Fergie time. But no, in all seriousness, a mad game ends in a win in extra time. I'll just do that for every draw because it's funny. 4-3 win in the end. In the actual 90 minutes, it was a 2-2 draw. And for the predictions, I will go over them in a minute. We'll take a look at the stats of this game and I will go over my predictions. Serik save, Fernandes and Rashford with 2. Cancels out João Pedro's brace and Mente's equaliser. Match results 4-3. Unparalleled. Winner world class AI. You would hope so, because they're both world class AI. 59-41 in terms of possession in favour of Manchester United. 13 shots apiece and 3.2 expected goals to 2.2 for the red side of Manchester. Then to end this off, we'll go over my predictions one more time. I'll be putting them in the description of the video as well, but it's just in case you want to hear me talk or you want to watch the simulation. The video is there. So these are my predictions, and the first one is biased, but the rest of them I think are probably going to be correct. Brighton 0, Manchester United 1, Spurs 2, Everton 0, Palace 1, West Ham 1, Southampton 0, Forest 0, Fulham 1, Leicester 1, Man City 3, Ipswich 0, Aston Villa 1, Arsenal 2, Bournemouth 1, Newcastle 2, Wolves 2, Chelsea 3, and Liverpool 2, Brentford 1. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up for match week 2 of the Premier League predictions. I hope you guys enjoy the Premier League this weekend, or whatever you're doing this weekend. I hope you enjoy yourselves. And if you're not a Liverpool or Man City fan, I hope your team win. No, I'm joking. In all seriousness, good luck for all the teams this weekend, and I will see you next week for Premier League predictions match week 3. Take care and peace.